Here we go then for the German Grand Prix. It is round 9 of the season and it is the last race before the summer break. It's time for qualifying for the 2024 German Grand Prix. And we can't wait to get started as the green light goes on. We are underway for Q1 as well. 15 minutes with the following with Zarco, Bridle, Marini, Quartararo, Ralph Fernandez, Nakagami, Mia, Augusto Fernandez, Miller, Bezzecchi, Gardner and Marc Marquez. And Marc Marquez, of course, having to go through this session after crashing yesterday in practice. He has a broken finger, the glove taping it up. Megan, you were commentating on that session.
Yeah,
you saw the accident.
I saw he had to go to the medical centre, and I think I did hear something about his finger having damage. I'm surprised he hasn't actually had more, since he did high side right over the bike. But I suppose if the bike had hit him, it would have been a lot worse, so thankfully it just missed him. But those right-handers are really beginning to be a problem. We've seen a majority of the accidents coming from those right-hand corners.
Live on JBMotorsports Twitch, delayed on JBMotorsports for the qualifying and the sprint and the feature this weekend as well. Delighted we can be live for the first time. It wasn't actually supposed to be the plan. Me and Omi were supposed to be commentating on the Formula 3 race, but that's been postponed due to weather conditions at Silverstone. It's bright sunshine here at the Satchering though, so very quick, late turnaround where we suddenly thought, well, hang on a minute, maybe I can just do it in the main box.
Yeah.
So we're here. And you've been commentating on most of the sessions. In fact, you'll be doing all of them this weekend.
The only one I haven't really seen that much of was the last one.
Practice 2, yeah.
Yeah, because I was getting ready.
Yeah, Practice 2 uploaded at the same time as this, so you see the quality difference coming through as well. So Miller, from Ralph Fernandez, Marc Marquez, Quartararo, Augusto Fernandez, Zarco, Marini, Nakagami, Bezzecchi, Gardner. Remy Gardner being back as well, that's going to be an exciting factor to watch as well. I like that he's back. I like that Gardner's been brought into it and he's going to have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Out of these lot, do you know who I think might get a better getaway?
Who?
Honestly, Jack Miller.
Yeah, I think it's the
He's
same thing.
been quite near the midfield, so through this he must be near the top.
Last to get through at the top. Definitely don't count out Marc Marquez. So I'll agree with you. I'll say Marquez and Miller. That'll be the two for me to go through. And Miller's gone top. Marquez goes top as well. So that's going to change around the timing screen a little bit more. Miller now goes top. So it is Miller Marquez 1 and 2 at the moment in this qualifying session as they drop down through the first corner downhill. Only 3 right-hand corners on the track, and there was a lot of accidents throughout the weekend.
They're problematic.
Yeah, how many have we had?
I'd say 16. Oof. And there's also been a couple accidents at turn 8.
Yeah. That's a left-hander, isn't it? Coming through the top
No,
of the
there's
hill.
only 3. That one's
Right-hander.
just really tight.
Very tight left-hander coming through as well. So we get 3 to the right, turns 1, 3 and 11. And then the rest are all left-handers. It's like one an oval here. It's the amount of time to go left. Trackhouse should feel at home as we look at Ralph Fernandez. He's a tenth and a half up in that first sector. Takes to turn 11, the right hill downhill. Right-handed downhill. So big a drop here. Biggest drop on any run on the calendar. To just drop straight down the hill.
Of course,
3 out.
the left-hand corners are turns 1, 3 and 11.
Yeah. Easy to remember, really, isn't it, as well? With and Raul just getting a little bit wiggly across the line. This is going to be interesting for Trackhouse. It's a 1:20.102. Who has been fast this weekend? This is the first time I've been able to stand in the commentary box.
Well, certainly not any of the VR46s.
Yeah,
they've been fast into the barriers. But Vinales, when he hasn't been crashing.
He's crashed twice, hasn't he, this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's someone else. I can't remember which one it is. Alex has been quite good so far.
Marquez or Alex Marquez?
Marquez.
Yeah. Well, Rins in here, is he? Rins has got a broken. Rins is injured with broken ribs, I think, so that's why he's been replaced by Remy Gardner. Quartararo having to go through this session though in the Yamaha, some highs to some lows. He goes into 5th on a 1:20.566 as well, so there'll be some times they be a-changing.
Tell you what, the Tissot Sprint and the race are going to be interesting because you know what the most problematic corner I've calculated is?
What?
Turn 1. Mainly
Downhill, but yeah.
because it's downhill, but also because right behind it is turn 10, so the gravel trap is not that big. And yesterday it did cause a barrier to actually need to be replaced because a bike smashed right into it because the gravel trap wasn't big enough.
So we'll keep an eye on that then. If we end up getting a red flag, you know who's taking over. As well, I'll go cover the... Which I don't know why the sprint... Well, no, we should be alright actually. Might have to do some 2 and 2s because it's on Twitch as well.
I did kind of calculate with the sprint anodes because F2 is... It starts at 110,
Yeah.
the stream, so I'm going to calculate now.
No, 150.
No, it says 110.
Tissot Sprint's at 150.
I don't mean the Tissot Sprint.
Oh,
I
really?
mean F2.
Oh, right. Well, we've got FP. After this session, I'm going to try and fix your laptop and see what's going on with why it won't have the audio adapters working for it.
I don't think it's...
I think it needs a restart.
No, I don't think it's my laptop because yesterday the whole problem started when that bus mixer started having a funny noise. I think it's the bus mixer itself.
Oh, I hope it's not damaged.
I think it might be, unfortunately.
I'll try it with a different lead, see what it does.
Could be.
That'd be really annoying if it is.
Yeah, because I kept hearing things and that's what made me notice. And then all of a sudden my laptop started
Well, to be fair,
phasing.
we don't...
Also, it was set to the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So.
To be fair, we don't need it for the rest of the weekend, really, because the rest of the weekend, it's the races. So, and then tomorrow morning's warm-up, we can just do what we did today. So, to be fair, we kind of don't need to fix it.
And it's grateful
Yeah.
that it doesn't need to
Yeah.
be fixed. It's, because it's been okay.
Ralph Fernandez keeps having these off moments as well, where he's nearly dropping the bike and he cannot keep it up. So,
I don't blame him.
This is, by the way, Megan, this is the part of the session I told you about. This is the part of the session where everyone goes into the pit lane and nobody does anything.
Yes, I seem to remember occasionally it being like that.
Yeah, I did warn you about that fact as well. Let me just get through this. It's one of these where you just don't know what's going to happen next. Also, stupid me has just realised what I've done.
What?
I've taken off the bottom half of the timing tower when it's a qualifying session. So we might as well just keep on this. Because I had to put the hashtag on to go to battle screen, but this is the battle screen. So I suppose the only variation of that would be button 8, which is the TNT screen, which, as you can see there, shows some information about Ralph Fernandez leading the way. But they're all coming back out of the track now anyway, so
Unsafe races.
it doesn't really matter in MotoGP that much anymore.
It does when they're doing that.
Yeah, it's strange actually. We are live, but only on Twitch. So yeah, it's always the fun. Twitch, it's going to get so complicated from now on. Getting Twitch sorted and everything. Shouldn't be that hard. British Grand Prix coming up next time out. Also, we've got a German flag we can put up for the race tomorrow, alongside the British flag for the British Grand Prix. We're in here for the Grand Prix tomorrow, for the MotoGP.
I should hope so.
So really, it's only the sprint and the thingy tomorrow.
The F2 thing, what is it and how long is it?
If you take a look here on our monitor, if it loads. Oh, your laptop needs to do that at 11:15. Oh, bugger. Come into this. There, to 2:15.
So that's approximate 15 minutes cover from the actual
Yeah.
thing.
So as soon as that's over, you come back to the box. It gets confusing, doesn't it? Well, Fernandez looking stronger and stronger. Still, we'll be waiting to see in the final half of this qualifying session who is going to be hot and who is going to be not. Ralph Fernandez and Marc Marquez still going through. Miller down in 6th place now. Money's still on him, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen next.
So I think he's been out since his first or second run.
They're all out now, though, and they're all together across the line. That's how much a tow you need here at the Sachsenring.
It's oddly unnerving.
Oh, that's Miller straight on through the gravel at turn 1, taking out Marc Marquez for the money of it.
See, that's what's going to happen in the race. Turn 1 is evil.
Yeah. That's Miller's lap time done as well. And his tyres wrecked as for good measure.
So who else might get... Oh, in fairness, look at where Augusto Fernandez is.
Yeah.
Quite good.
Yeah, Augusto's in third. Now, whose fault? Oh, Winglet came off of... That's Miller's fault. And a Winglet came off as well under braking.
Not having a good day. It's a curse of turn 1.
That's Miller. In my book, that's all. That's on Miller. 110%.
He's attacking people again.
He is attacking people again, isn't he, as well? Quartararo's looking quite strong. 85,000's down in that that second sector. So he's on the cusp. There's a 10th between Ralph Fernandez and Marc Marquez at the moment. So they're still in the air as to what could change.
Huh.
Go on, man.
I'm just saying, huh.
Into the last corner. Here comes Fabio Quartararo. Uphill. Out of turn number 14 across the line, and Quartararo goes into third, 120.394, but Ralph Fernandez has got the fastest first sector of anybody so far, so it's not over yet, and it is over for Marc Marquez. He's coming into the pit lane. Hopefully that's just for a bike change, otherwise he's in real trouble.
Yeah, we do not want another version of Aleix Espargaro having to go out because of a break.
He said that's enough.
Well, Felix, he doesn't want to push himself that much.
1 minute 20 lap. If he goes out with 2:20 to go, he'll still have time for a lap.
Do you know, at this point, I'm pretty sure by the next few races, we're just going to have a completely different field of riders because they all keep breaking things.
Well, think about what we had back in 2023, even last year. We never had a race with full riders, ever. Not even the sprint race, because Paul was injured in practice 3. Not one race last year did we have a full contracted rider list. Paul's coming back as well as for a wild card.
Oh, that's nice.
I think at Silverstone. Ralph Fernandez, 119.678. Has Ralph Fernandez been looking good this weekend?
He has.
Mark is coming out with 2:20 to go. Look, he's on the back with 2:40. So quick debrief for the engineers. Go again. And here comes Fabio Quartararo up to the line. This is qualifying 1 for the German Grand Prix. It's a 1:23.40 for Quartararo. Bezecchi, second fastest. He kicks out Marc Marquez. 1:21.15 across the board for the sprint race later. And with 2:20 to go, how predictable. Here comes Marc Marquez out the pit lane.
Okay.
X on the front.
Yeah.
So that's more front left, I think. Don't go in the gravel, Mark.
But that's not the right way, Mark. No. No.
He'll have 1 lap to do, well, let's just say, Marc Marquez, 1 lap, pressure at the King of the Ring. Don't forget, Marc Marquez is the King of the Ring. I've gone into as my pick a winner for the sprint race.
So we don't crash.
Marc Marquez has won here 9 times.
Jeez.
Every time he's raced here, Mark has won. Last year he withdrew.
Let's hope that he doesn't fail.
Yeah.
Oh, this year, Aleix withdrew.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to withdraw.
Your lead is really tangled right now.
Yeah. I don't even know how.
I'll deal with it.
I don't think it can be dealt with. I think it's because it goes right across my body and yours doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like constantly getting tangled up with me moving.
Well, you could put your headset the other way around. Oh, Quartararo's gone straight on. So that's his lap time done.
Is that turn 3?
And is that yellow? That might cause a yellow if Quartararo's going straight on the first corner.
Would not surprise me.
And is that going to affect Marc Marquez as he starts his last lap? Everybody on 1 to go, and Marc Marquez on 1 lap pressure this season has often resulted in him crashing into the first corner. Thought the front was going to dip there as well. Stefan Bradl's in the way! Bradl's in the way! And Marc Marquez is absolutely furious with him! Marquez won't go through because Stefan Bradl was just dithering in the middle of the track! What was that from Bradl? Absolute lunacy! Home Grand Prix for Stefan Bradl!
He's not even been quick!
Get him out of the championship! Get him out!
It's not even been quick.
That was dangerous! He was literally sideways, drifting out the track from turn 3 in the top. Watch this again. So Mark's coming through 1, he's fine. Downhill to 2, it's all good. And there's Bradl! and it's under investigation. That's clear impeding from Stefan Bradl. He was not. That was stupid. Bone dead stupid from Bradl. That could have got That could have got 4 riders seriously injured. Get him out.
That was dangerous.
I've never seen such stupidity in MotoGP since we had Roman Fenati pulling the front brake in Moto2 of another competitor. Do you remember when he leaned across and pulled the... Do you remember when he leaned across? Yeah. And pulled the brake. That is just as dangerous. Dithering, he's standing on the front of the bike. The checker flag's out. Mark's out anyway. So it's Ralph Fernandez and Marco Bezzecchi going through. Everyone else not got a lap time in because of Bradl's stupidity. Bradl has just impeded 9 riders.
Jeez.
Get that idiot out of the championship. He's only a while. He's permanent as well. Get him out. That is so dangerous. He was literally...
I think he needs a refresher course in driving.
He was on the front of the bike, dithering uphill from turn 2. Look behind him. Oh, there's riders coming towards me at over 100 miles an hour. And he's just dithering. That nearly took 4 riders out. That is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in MotoGP. That is bone-dead dangerous. Bradl needs a... Honestly, if the stewards don't get him out of the championship for that one for this weekend, give him a race ban for that. That's impeding 9 riders, nearly caused an accident which would have seriously injured 4 riders. That is so dangerous from Stefan. So dangerous.
He only didn't impede 1 driver. Well, 2 drivers technically, because one of the other riders, I'm too focused on getting to F1.
Yeah, go on.
F1 and F2. Because there was 1 rider next to him. He himself was one of the riders, and also I think one of them was in the pit lane.
There's the Muppet. Stefan Bradl is out there on medium front, medium rear. He should have actually had a very good lap time, but he retired from MotoGP 5 years ago. Here we go. Is Stefan going to apologise? He's pulled up alongside Marc Marquez, and he's going to apologise. He's tapped him on, and Marc's going, what did you do that for? So Stefan's tried to apologise, and Marc's gone, what did you do that for? At least, as Neil Hodgson said, he's going to feel embarrassed about that one.
Yeah.
But that is dangerous, so dangerous. You don't dither on the racing line and then cut across the track mid-corner. Watch, look, he's trying to apologise. What was that for? Come on, man. That is, not good.
He's hanging his head like a child. It's like...
If I was the race director, I would get Stefan Bradl to put the dunce cap on and walk around with a bell saying shame through the paddock. That is dangerous. Let's go down to Steve Perry. Let's see what Sylvain Guintoli and Michael Laverty make of it.
That was an incredible lap.
It really was. Ralph Fernandez has shown a lot of speed this year. He's been unfortunate at times, crashing out of the lead in Barcelona. But the management at Aprilia really believe in him. We know over the summer break he will get a 2024 upgrade to his package. He's got the new engine, just doesn't have the recent chassis and aero body. But the way the Aprilia is working in Maverick Vinales' hands, Ralph Fernandez, Miguel Oliveira, they're emulating it. Okay, Aleix Espargaro isn't on the grid this weekend, but it looks like the Trackhouse team and Ralph Fernandez have got something to fight with. So a trip through Q1 isn't where they wanted to be, but both Trackhouse bikes are in Q2. So yeah, good signs for that squad as a whole, and good to see Ralph performing like that. Next best to Maverick at this stage in the weekend.
And good to see him being given the time to improve as well on that bike. And you can only guess that that second bike hasn't been signed up because they're possibly waiting for Miguel Oliveira to make up his mind on what he's going to do, because rumour is, of course, he's talking to Pramac Yamaha. Right, let's move forward then and have a look at this Stefan Bradl incident with Marc Marquez. I mean, it's absolutely what Marc didn't need, but, you know, unfortunately, the timing of this, I mean, it was a bit of brain fade from Stefan here.
Yeah, it's the end of the session, and Stefan Bradl was obviously he didn't do it on purpose, but he's on the racing line there, and he doesn't get away in time. So when you're in turn 2 like that in the inside, it's a very late apex. You need to get out of the way much earlier, be on the right side of the track, and he is coming across the track. This is so dangerous. So obviously, yeah, that's a bit of a brain fade. Unfortunately for Marc, his weekend just keep on getting worse and worse and worse. You know, it's been an absolute disaster so far. Now it means that he's going to be a long way down on the starting grid for both races,
Yeah.
and he's starting with that injury as well. It's going to be so hard.
I mean, presumably a penalty for Bradl probably incoming, but it's slightly irrelevant, really, because of where he would be on the grid, and also the fact that it's, you know, it did ruin Mark's lap, and that's because Mark he's in this extraordinary situation where he had to go out and try and do another lap in the last dying seconds of that session. Where does it leave Mark now? I don't mean in terms of on the grid, I mean in terms of looking at the race weekend ahead.
We heard from McKelly that he's in pain, but he's going to try and manage it. So obviously he's not going to do a Q2 session now. He's got a little bit more time to rest. 15 laps around here is physical this afternoon for the sprint. Then he'd probably feel even stiffer tomorrow. So it's a tough task for him. The speed he showed yesterday morning and even in the afternoon prior to the crash, he had the GP23 working. So this was his opportunity to potentially take a victory. But fifth row of the grid with an injury, it's too tough around here. It's too physical.
And what about the problem of when you are stiff like that and you're riding the bike, there's more chance that you can come off your bike again, isn't there?
Yeah, it makes things worse because you're super tense on the bike as well. You can't move around as you normally do, so you're not getting off the bike as much. You're not playing with the bike, with your body on the bike and your body weight, you know, shifting your weight around. So yeah, it's not good. You can't ride at your full capacity. Things get worse as well during the race. You know, you get more tired, you start to cramp or you start to have pains, you know, where you don't normally have them. So it's a tough situation for Mark and his team.
Yeah, it really is, and he was so light-hearted coming into the weekend. I mean, when we arrived here, we'd heard it's a slow news week, I'm going to say here, but there was this rumour that Lewis Hamilton wanted to buy the Gresini team. It's not really news because Lewis has kind of wanted equity in MotoGP for quite a long time. He's loved the sport all his life, but the rumour was that he'd talked to Gresini, and I think that's possibly didn't quite happen. Don't think Nadia wants to sell the team, but the question was put to the boys in the press conference, and we don't normally show these bits because they're normally boring, but this was actually quite funny. So this was their response.
Well, yeah, for sure it's interesting. I saw it, but you know, always on press they speak and then nothing happened. And it's always a speculation, no?
It's full of press, eh?
Yeah, I know. But, and I hope that if somebody like Hamilton, that is a really iconic person, wants to buy a team in MotoGP, is because something is changing. So I'm really pleased with that.
I never think about it, honestly. When I saw it, and also because it's always Team Gresini that looks that is sold. So it's strange, but I never think that was a possibility.
If it's real, it's good for our sport, and even if it's not real, it's good for our sport. So maybe I'm thinking to buy a F1 team.
I don't have enough cash.
You were buying Team Gresini last year, no?
Yeah. Maybe have percentage, you don't know.
You meet with Lewis, you made a deal together.
Why not?
Mark being Mark, really, being very funny. The timing of that was fantastic. And interesting to see him and Pecco talking together. Jorge just not joining in. No, too soon.
Well, he's not in a factory team as well, so he probably hasn't got the cash to get, you know, a lot of shares in that. So them two are the big boys.
I think the thing was there that, you know, they were sort of horsing around with it, really. But Lewis, you know, yeah, I think if the opportunity was here, he would put some equity into the sport. And what would that mean for our sport, do you think?
It would be huge, especially with the Liberty Media takeover. And you look what Liberty Media did to the value of the F1 teams. I can't remember, it was like a 300% increase in value for each F1 team. So he's getting in at the right time if he can purchase a Gresini spot now or a stake in the team. So getting equity in this championship would bring eyeballs to our series. He's a global superstar. He is proper mainstream press. He's like what Valentino Rossi did for our sport through the 90s and the noughties. So yeah, it would be awesome if he does get involved. I've got a Moto3 team, Lewis. We're open to investors. Come and have a word. But yeah, I'd love to see him get involved.
Help him, lad. Help him.
Let's go, Lewis. It is one of those things. He does a lot for four-wheel racing for underprivileged kids and getting them involved in the sport. So yeah, it'd be great to see a little bit of that influence come to two wheels as well.
Well, Lewis is one of our greatest sportsmen of all time in the UK, without question. You know, incredible. And what he would bring, I mean, it'd also bring, you know, a flamboyant fashion and some dogs into the paddock as well. Which
We've got that with you already, Susie.
We got it with Fabio.
And with Fabio, yeah.
He brings the flamboyant fashion, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. No, he's very out there, Fabio, with his his like clothing and stuff. He loves it. So we got that, and them two actually are good mates with Lewis.
They are. We'll wait and see what happens with Lewis, but I can imagine that he could be coming into this paddock. He's got a lot on at the moment with the move to Ferrari there and the British Grand Prix this weekend. I'm sure he's pretty busy. But Mark's right. It's good for our sport to be talked about on the same weekend as the British Grand Prix. But anyway, back to two wheels now and Q2 and the battle for pole position. Who's your money on, Gav?
I'll ask you the question, Megan. Who's your money on?
My money would be on... I'm going to go Vinales because he may have crashed a little bit last session. Well, not last session, last session. But I think he's been showing a little bit of promise, and I really just want him... I need one of the Aprilias to do well.
No, it's not going to be...
They want down. So.
Yeah, the Leish isn't here, and neither is Lorenzo Salvadori, so they're only running one Aprilia.
They need something good.
In this weekend's race as well.
Maybe you'd get second and Marc Marquez wins.
Green flags are out then. Vinales, Martin, Oliveira, Alex Marquez, Bagnaia, Bastianini, Morbidelli, Acosta, Di Giannantonio, Binder, Raul Fernandez and Bezzecchi. They are the riders in this session for the second qualifying of the German Grand Prix weekend. My pick for pole position? Never count out a Ducati in this season, and I will go for Martin. Is that a safe bet? I haven't. Yeah. This is the first time I've walked into the commentary.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. We've kind of done what the BBC did back in the early 2000s, or the late 2000s, well, 2009 and 2010, and maybe 2011, where they've had a practice commentator, you, and then I come in for the big ones of qualifying and the race.
Welcome to what it's like for me during F1.
I like it better.
Usually.
I like it better. So you can do all the MotoGP practice sessions.
I actually don't mind doing practice sessions.
Yeah, I thought you might not.
A lot of the crashes tend to happen there.
That's why they're good parts of the weekend.
Because they don't know what they're doing on the first thing. Because they're testing out whether the track's good. And the amount of crashes in the first two practices, it was impressive.
Silverstone coming up next as well. Of course, back in the day, we only used to cover the races live anyway.
Yeah.
So we got greedy by going them all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they slap us.
Maybe we should miss one out each time.
Well, it works often, doesn't it? Apart from Emilia-Romagna. God, that was annoying.
So I've just got to track a plane. Noemi, she's coming home.
Right, okay. Here we go then for the completions of the first lap times then here in qualifying number 2 out of the last corner. And Pecco Bagnaia will take the first opportunity across the line then. Here's your bank of times. Alex Marquez already behind him. Bagnaia, no! Look at that for Alex Marquez. 119.9 and a thousandth of a second off is Jorge Martin. They are separated by 1,000th of a second at the front. Wow.
Alex has been doing well this weekend. So.
And look at Vinales, 49 thousandths of a second off. He goes into third place as well. Utterly brilliant stuff. Lap time cancelled. For Martin, track limits.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was at turn 11. I thought I heard that happen. In fact, hang on a minute. I've just realised something, Megan. Megan. Aha. Hang on a minute. There was no current official messages for this session. Then what's the point in having a screen that tells us that? Dear me. Does that work here as well? Hang on a minute. Oh, it does. Hey, here we go. We get to see the official messages. Doubt that's going to work for the Grand Prix, but at least it's an extra bit of information that you can see back at home right now with the messages coming from race control, if any. Raul Fernandez! 119.643 up to provisional pole position into the last corner. Let's see what we're going to have now. Bagnaia's looking quick. Martin to provisional pole position. 119.423. Raul Fernandez second, Alex Marquez third, Pecco Bagnaia fourth, Franco Morbidelli is fifth. Sixth place for Maverick Vinales. Times are changing and they are thick and fast, and it's a new all-time lap record after Vinales changed it yesterday to a 1:19.622. Martin has a 1:19.423. So I take it Vinales topped practice yesterday.
I believe so, or at least nearly did.
I must say, by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube on the JBMotorsports premiere, apologies that yesterday's practice session in the afternoon didn't have an ending. Megan's laptop, well, do you want to say?
It froze.
So we thought we'd recorded the ending, didn't we?
Yes.
But it turns out it only did 14 seconds. So Megan had to come into the box and record an exit.
Yes.
Were you wearing the same clothes?
No.
It looked like you always do.
It's just because you see me often enough that you start to blur the clothes.
Oh, well, fair dues. What were you wearing yesterday?
I don't know.
Right.
I think I avoided wearing green. I was wearing a black top
No green because
and
of
striped.
white.
Yeah, striped white.
So that's why you look similar today.
Yeah. I didn't wear green because I knew I was going to be on green screen. I had actually picked up a green shirt and I was like, no, I'm on green screen.
It will just fade into the background.
Yeah. It's like I'd just be a floating head.
In goes the fuel. Here we go again then. Ralph Fernandez is the only one out on the track right now as well. And they'll come in and box.
What is?
Martino, 1:19.423 is 2/10 clear to Ralph Fernandez, who is boxing now. So everyone's going to be back in the pits. Let's check in. Oh, hang on, replay. This is Martin. Just sliding around on the front there, losing out ever so slightly as well. So there are changes that needs to happen. Let's fly over to TNT.
But he's going to need to go again. Yeah. I feel like Fernandez might have a little bit more in there. Vinales definitely.
I think Vinales will swap his front
tyre.
I just think the soft now with this temperature.
Especially the way that Aprilia works the front tyre.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd want that stability underneath you.
Absolutely.
Just got Piero Taramasso's comments ringing around my head. The front
Stability.
hard tyre offers stability. Quiet lull hangs over the German Grand Prix here at the Saxon Ring. Beautiful day, not the wind, the cool air of yesterday flying through the circuit. Daniele Romagnoli just has a quick word. Really good crowd in as well. In fact, it was quiet coming into the track early this morning, whereas normally you're queuing for ages. I think a lot of them are already here. I think it's a bit of a Le Mans effect.
It is the exact, that's it, the Le Mans effect. You have 100,000 people and you literally drive in, there's no queues, but everyone's camping there over the weekend. It's that festival vibe, and it's exactly the same here in Germany. They're on the beers this morning at 7 o'clock, though. I was quite impressed with that.
It was wrong of you to join in with them.
Can you tell?
When you're on air.
They have big beers as well. They have proper steins, don't they?
It'll wake you up, won't it?
It looked like fun.
I'll stick to the coffee, thank you very much.
I tell you though, you can feel the hangovers coming early here this weekend, or certainly today with this heat. So Martin's going to try and break away on his own here without any. He doesn't need to follow anyone. Yep, he'll be well pleased with that. That's like, yes, I'm a free man.
Yeah, I don't suppose, Megan, as well, being a free man for Martin's going to affect him that much, because we know he has a 2/10 advantage. But Ralph Fernandez is up there. Bagnai, if he gets clean laps, I mean, there's so many possibilities still on the line here at Saxon Ring. Oh, hello.
Oh.
What's Bagnai? What's wrong with Bagnai? And D'Antonio, Bagnai has stopped in the pit lane. What's he done? What's gone wrong here? There's something wrong. Hang on, you're not allowed to do that. Pecco's not allowed to do that. Pecco stopped in the pit lane in order to get a good tow, but you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to stop at all in the pit lane. He can fake having a thing all he likes, but he's waited for Bastianini to be right there with him. But you're not allowed to do that. You can't stop in the pit lane. It's not like Formula One, where we've got that to deal with later, and it's at Silverstone, remember, uphill pit lane exit. So watch, Bagnaya comes out, he looks down, and then he'll look around and say, oh, hang on a minute, I don't want to be following you lot. So he'll pull out into the emergency pit lane area where the moto, well, that's Jan Mia's garage and Luca Marini's.
Completely stopped.
You're not allowed to do that. It's against the rules. It's completely against the rules. If anything, that has to be some form of penalty coming his way. They can't not. Martin nearly drops it, though, coming down here and towards turn 1 into 2. As you said, Megan, that's the tricky point through the first corner, that downhill section, to try and drag something through it. Into 3, another right-hander. And now you're left for the entirety of the lap until turn 11. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are all left-hander. And for quite a lot of them as well, you're hanging on the bike. And he's nearly dropped it. And he's backed out the lap. Well, that was 2 mistakes in one sector for Martin. He had to back out of it. He's still keeping his second off the pace. But it just keeps on happening. Look, this is it. Watch his leg at the rear left. Ready? Down it goes. He did well to hold that, actually.
Yeah.
That's his thighs, inner thighs, gripping onto the bike. Let's go dangling, inner thighs just gripping on. And they get like a bath mat on the seat as well that grips against the leathers, like a rubber bath mat. Oliveira second, Trackhouse 2-3 for the first time this year. Oh, and a big twitch into turn 1. So 119.471 for Miguel Oliveira. Acosta across looking decent as well. 123.48. D'Antonio is 12th. Bagnaia is in 5th. I've got to record the Moto E race. That's what I'm thinking of. Same time as the F1, so you'll have to stop it for me.
Okay.
Digi looking strong. If F1 even happens with their third practice session, I'm expecting a lot of rain delay coverage, personally. I'm sure Omi's feeling the same way. I don't actually know who's in the box for that one. Digi up to 8, 119.957. He goes in there. Oh, big one there! And that is Maverick Vinales, and the bike's caught fire. This will be a red flag. It has to be a red flag. He's okay. He's up, and that's at turn 10, coming into 11. Red flag's out.
It's close to the end of the session.
Well, hang on, they haven't red flagged it.
The fire seems to have gone out.
So turn 10, yellows have come in. They've left it green. There's a bike smoking.
Turn 10.
It's at turn 10 to 11,
at the entrance into turn 11, right next to turn 1, where there are air barriers.
Well, that's great, isn't it, as well? And the doctors... Right, it's at turn 11 as well. There's doctors now in the firing line with no medical equipment at one of the fastest points of the track, throwing the damn yellow.
They've got the yellow back up.
Good. Where's the red? Look, we've got riders coming out to this section of the track.
Turn 11 is dangerous
too. Where's the yellows? We're at the top of the hill. Where's the yellows? I can see no visible yellow flags out. And there's marshals right there.
That's the entrance to turn
11.
Oh my God.
There is no visible yellow flags apart from what we're seeing on our monitor. And that's Martin. Martin's off the track. He's gone straight on. Can't tell where that is as he rejoins. Well, it's all blowing up now here in MotoGP. Wow.
I feel sorry for Vinales because he didn't even go into the gravel. He just was smacked right into the ground, and that airbag does not.
He's high-sided, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone
kicked
over
him
it,
right there.
Kicked him over the bike.
And it kicked him again.
He keeps hold of the handlebar, though, so he goes over the handlebar.
It hit him right in the chest.
Oh, he's going to land on his back. Oh, and he gets hit on the head as well by the bike.
Something fun.
And he's going to get hit for a second time, I reckon, by that bike. Yeah, there you go. Hits him on his shoulder. If Vinales, if he's cleared to race later on today, that'll be a surprise. Look, he's still got his leathers crashed from the previous. That's his second bike. He crashed in practice too, remember? So both sessions he's been in, he's crashed. There's a fundamental issue with that Yamaha. So with that Aprilia bike.
Yeah, that means 0 Aprilias if he's not cleared.
Yeah, that does actually. No, and that really hammers them in the Constructors' Championship as well.
Yeah, this was doing so good too.
That time cancelled due to the yellow flags for several riders. The 23, the 33 and the 72.
I think I found the airport no one was out.
By the way, it's great that this official messages chart for the shows doesn't actually work. Doesn't work.
They have nothing to say.
It's there and it doesn't work. So that's why we turned it off. Because messages keep coming through, but it's not telling us. I thought, what a great addition. I was asking for that. I asked them for that. I sent an email and said, look, can you just put some messages up so we can read them? Yep, sure. Sounds good to me. Is it there? No. Is it buggery? 30 seconds to go then. Martin on pole, despite going off. It was down at turn 3, Megan. That's where he went off. Martin went straight through the gravel at 3.
Another lefter.
I'm going to snooze these ads that are coming because, you know, end of the session and all.
But it's unfortunate that at an airport I have found that Noemi sat because of her last nap. Because she's forgotten to tell. There's 2 ones going to the exact same place at the same time. I don't know which is.
Or track both.
I'm going to have to.
Into the last corner with the checker flag out. Pietro Acosta's looking strong as well. Ralph Fernandez will start this race on the front row of the grid. Trackhouse could have a 1-2. Acosta stays 10th. If. Yeah, that's why I had a sore throat then.
Alex Marquez.
Oh, he's crashed! Alex has crashed! Alex Marquez crashes, and that's going to spoil everyone's lap. Is that turn 10?
If it is, I'm laughing.
Martin on provisional pole.
Bagnaia just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I think that's it, you know. Yeah, yellows are out. Bagnaia's had to back out of a lap time. I reckon it's down at turn 10. Wow. Well, Megan, there's no factory Aprilias in this one, but the 2 Aprilias are 2 and 3 with Trackhouse. The customer team, Trackhouse Racing Aprilia, get their first ever 2, 3 on the grid. The first ever front row start.
That's brilliant.
That tag cancelled for Oliveira.
And you were right about Martin.
Yeah, getting pole, yeah. It's he who did it last year, sort of using my own things against me.
Where did Alex stop?
Vinales was fast in that first sector. Here's a replay.
Entrance to sector 3.
So it's in 4. Here we go, look. Uphill, it's turn 4, and he just front drops away from him. Fast crash. And as you said, Megan, into the air fence as well. Oh, and he rolled into the air fence on top of the bike as well. He rolled on top of the bike into the air fence. That's a biggie. Biggie.
These air fences are really just like
Sachsenring is a dangerous track, isn't it? The air fences do their job, but you still fly into an air fence.
Yeah, it is not good.
Air fences can puncture as well, which is what we saw yesterday with Digi's crash. Not the best.
You look to have punctured that one.
Kind of an unpredictable. Q2 was more dramatic, but that's kind of expected. Because look, it's Martin on pole, Oliveira second, Ralph Fernandez third, Pecco Bagnaia's fourth, Alex Marquez fifth, Franco Morelli is sixth, Vinales seventh, Digi's eighth, Bashin is ninth, Acosta's 10th, Binder's 11th, and Bezecchi's in 12th. What do you think is going to happen in the sprint race later?
Crash.
Yeah, thinking the same thing. It's going to be a very interesting one.
It looks like he's on the back of this bike.
It does, yeah. The Tissot Sprint is live on JB Motorsports and live on JB Motorsports Twitch and premiered on JB Motorsports YouTube channel. That is at 1:50 British summertime, 2:50 over in Europe, and that's when you can join us for the Tissot Sprint live on JB Motorsports Twitch. Martin's on pole. There was no real doubt, was there? No. We'll be back later. Bye-bye.